When you think of youth theater, what comes to mind? You're probably picturing a school play, right? But what if it was less about the final performance and a whole lot more about leadership? Well, today, we're going to look at a model called the Youth Theater Collective that is completely flipping the script on what youth arts can be.
This right here, this is the central question that's driving everything for the Youth Theater Collective, or YTC. They're basically proposing this radical shift in thinking. What if we moved our focus from just the final show to all the skills that get built along the way? It's a move from simply putting on a performance to actively building the leaders of tomorrow.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's like a tale of two theaters. Over on the left, you've got the traditional model that we all know. The adults direct and the students perform. But on the right, you see the YTC model. Here, the students are actually in the driver's seat. They're the ones leading everything, from the big creative choices all the way down to the production logistics. It's a huge shift in who holds the power and the responsibility.
Okay, so how does a big shift like that actually work in practice? Well, it all comes down to the YTC philosophy, which is built on a really simple but powerful idea. You learn leadership by actually doing it.
And this is it. This is the core belief that drives the entire program. YTC just doesn't see students as passive performers waiting for instructions. Nope, they see them as active leaders who are making decisions that have real, actual consequences for the entire production.
So they have a name for this. They call it their theory of practice. The idea is that a theater production isn't just some artistic event, it's a powerful training ground for things like collaboration, making ethical decisions, and accountability. The work is real, the deadlines are real, and guess what? So is the learning.
And this whole theory is built on three key pillars. First, structure creates safety. By giving students clear timelines and roles, they create a space where it's safe to take creative risks without things descending into chaos. Second, process is the curriculum. The rehearsals, the design meetings, that is the classroom. And third, access by design, which just means making sure the program is built from the ground up to be inclusive and to remove any barriers to entry.
So that's the philosophy. But how does it all come together on the ground? Let's take a look under the hood at the machinery of the model to see how this theory is really put into practice.
This is absolutely crucial. A super clear division of labor. The students are responsible for the what, the artistic choices, the creative vision, the production itself. The adults handle the how. They provide the structure, they maintain safety, and they offer the educational support students need to succeed. So this isn't a free-for-all. It's what you might call structured freedom.
And what's really cool is that leadership here isn't just for the actors. YTC creates three totally distinct pathways. Yeah, there's the performance track, of course, but students can also lead in stagecraft and tech, designing sets, running the soundboard, or being the stage manager. Or they can run the whole front of house, handling the marketing and making sure the audience has a great experience. This makes sure there's a meaningful leadership role for every single student.
Now, a really key piece of this whole puzzle is the curriculum itself. And it's not just a set of lesson plans, it's a core asset of the entire organization. What that means is it's been intentionally designed to be rigorous, to be replicable, and to be easily adopted by other places like schools or community centers. And just look at these features. It's aligned with national art standards. It integrates social-emotional learning. It assesses students on their process and how well they collaborate, not just on their talent. And it's all built to be adopted by public schools, which is what makes this model so scalable.
All right, so we've covered the philosophy and the structure. Now let's see how the program actually comes to life, from its very first pilot all the way to a full-scale production.
YTC is being really smart about this. They're rolling it out strategically. It all starts with an 8-week pilot program to introduce the model to schools. From there, it moves to a full production cycle, and it's all building towards one major milestone: the summer 2026 flagship production.
And that brings us to this one critical year, 2026. This isn't just some random date on a calendar. It's really the culmination of their entire strategy, the big moment they've been building toward.
See, this summer production is so much more than just a show. It's a public proof of concept. The whole goal is to gather the documentation, the data, and the visibility they need to prove that a student-led model can be successful, totally safe, and ready to expand into new schools and communities.
So after the lights go down and the audience heads home, what's left? What is the real, lasting impact of all this work?
This right here is what it's all about. Students walk away with skills that are valuable absolutely everywhere. We're talking about project management from coordinating scenes, ethical decision-making from navigating tough artistic choices, and learning how to handle real feedback and conflict. These aren't just theater skills, these are life skills.
Of course, a program like this requires support. As you can see, any contributions are invested directly into 4 key areas that all center on the student experience: making sure all students have access, funding the actual program delivery, continuing to develop the curriculum, and providing the necessary infrastructure.
And that oversight piece is key. YTC is a fiscally sponsored project of Fractured Atlas, which is a national nonprofit. Essentially, what this means is that they have the backing of a really established organization to manage their finances and legal stuff, which ensures everything is run responsibly and with total transparency.
Which brings us right back to where we started. The Youth Theater Collective is, really, a grand experiment designed to answer this one question. By providing structure, support, and real responsibility, they're betting that young people won't just rise to the occasion, but that they'll emerge as the capable, ethical, and collaborative leaders that we all need. And that is a performance worth watching.